everyone, it's that time to get started. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to our Clearly IP webinar on the dynamic world of soft phones. So today we're going to embark on a journey through the ever-evolving landscape of software-based communication solutions. My name is Bree. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Clearly IP, and I'm going to be your presenter today. Soft phones have really become a cornerstone of modern business communication, offering flexibility, mobility, and really an array of features that can really empower individuals and organizations to connect and collaborate like never before. Whether you're already well versed in the world of soft phones or you're just beginning your exploration, we here are trying to provide you with some insights, tips, and strategies to leverage these versatile tools to their fullest potential. So without further ado, let's dive into the exciting realm of soft phones. Tony Lewis, our CEO, is going to be joining us a little later on, and he's going to provide a live demo so you can actually see a soft phone application being set up, being used real time with our Clearly Anywhere Softphone solutions. So if you're here to learn about soft phones, you're definitely in the right place. By the end of this webinar, you should know what a soft phone is, how it works, and how to order and deploy a soft phone. Bear with me as we start with the concept of a soft phone for those of you that are new to soft phones, and then we're going to move into more technical explanations on how they actually work. So a soft phone, short for software telephone, is a computer program or mobile application that allows users to make and receive voice and video calls, send text messages, and often engage in other forms of communication over the internet. So unlike traditional hardware-based telephones, soft phones use software to emulate the functionality of a phone, turning your computer, your smartphone, or tablet into a virtual communication device. So soft phones are essentially software-based telephones. They mimic your desk phones in your business by presenting a phone interface on the computer, complete with the dial pad and all the call handling features that you need and are familiar with, such as transfer, mute, hold, conference. Furthermore, you can buy third-party soft phone apps that will work with a variety of services. Here's an example of our Clearly Anywhere Softphone application on a smartphone, a tablet, and a laptop. So you can see it includes a dial pad and all the standard features and buttons that you rely on with a physical desk phone. So think of a soft phone really as a virtual phone that can be installed on any device. Again, computer, laptop, tablet, or a cell phone. A soft phone is a piece of hardware that allows users to make and receive calls over the internet via their preferred device. It has all the features of a desk phone, and it really does typically expand the range of services that you can access on a desk phone. So what's the difference between that and a desk phone? Well, the soft phone is completely software driven, so it's not going to have a physical handset or any physical hardware like a dial pad. Instead, it utilizes your access to the internet and creates a pathway between you and another telephone or let's say another smartphone. So this means that you can make a call from your cell phone with a soft phone app installed, and it'll thread through your office phone system. So this means all the calls from the soft phone look like they're originating from your office phone system and not your personal cell phone device. The same is true with soft phone calls from any of your other electronic devices, like perhaps a laptop or tablet. So calls to your office are not call forwarded like we used to do. They will actually ring simultaneously on your soft phone installation at the same time they ring at your desktop phone if that's how you want it set up. So this gives the impression you're answering the call or calling from your office even though you're at home, off-site, or maybe at the beach. So some fun history on this subject: that without computers and some way for those computers to exchange information, Voice over Internet Protocol, known as VoIP, really could not exist. So the Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, or abbreviated ARPANET, was the beginnings of the internet as we really know it today. And while the initial version was a bit less evolved, it still allowed for a network that could exchange information and follow TCP and IP protocols. So TCP/IP carefully defines how information moves from sender to receiver. First, application programs send messages or streams of data to one of the Internet Transport Layer protocols. So it's either the UDP, User Datagram Protocol, or the TCP, Transmission Control Protocol. So these protocols receive the data from the application, they divide it into smaller pieces called packets, they add a destination address, and then they pass the packets along to the next protocol layer, the Internet Network Layer. The Internet Network Layer encloses the packet in an Internet Protocol IP datagram, puts in the datagram a header and trailer, decides where to send the datagram, either directly to a destination or else to a gateway, and passes the datagram on the network interface layer. So the network interface layer accepts IP datagrams and transmits them as frames over a specific network hardware such as Ethernet. So this is what the call path looks like. Starting from your business network, the call can travel to the destination you have chosen in the manner which you have set it up. For incoming calls, this allows for bespoke settings such as not accepting calls on a soft phone between the hours of, let's say, 7:59 a.m. to 5:01 p.m., or letting you answer the phone in your office without it ringing on your soft phone if chosen. So a soft phone uses software to mimic the functionality of a desk phone on your screen. The technology behind the software is VoIP, which is the technology that allows you to make voice calls over the internet. Okay, so now we have the basic fundamentals of how a soft phone works. But why do so many businesses love and adopt them into their communication solution? So, professional communication has become really the pressing priority for organizations to survive right now, especially in this era after COVID. Plus, it should be consistent, reliable, secure, agile, and uninterrupted to flow with the wave, along with verbal communication via phones. There are many more aspects that are establishing their value. So, for example, video calling, instant messaging, presence, and cloud based provisioning tools, etc., are really also making their place in the corporate world to enable a robust collaboration among the workforce, clients, customers, and perhaps your channel partners. So, a soft phone is really designed to help all enterprises, businesses, companies, and organizations, regardless of the size, so small, medium, large, or enterprise scale. However, who are the people who are benefited most? Who are the professionals who need it most to enhance their business's productivity and eventually customer experience? Well, let's see. Remote workers is a good example. These might even be personnel working from home, call center employees, startup businesses, road warriors, people that are traveling, telecommuters, those who maybe make frequent long distance calls, and customer support engineers. So, in a few words, the soft phone really is a smart solution that assists the corporate world, especially the above mentioned professionals, to improve productivity, business efficiency, and unified communication, and really be available anywhere and everywhere at any time when they need to make or receive a business call. So, soft phones have a number of benefits over traditional phones. First, due to a lack of needed hardware, it's easy to move around with your phone. For example, you can use a laptop loaded with a soft phone app and easily make and receive calls, whether you're at the office or you're at home, or let's say you're sitting in a coffee shop. And so this also means you don't have to worry about installing or taking hardware with you if you need to move your work location. So you can really focus on your calls and your conversations and collaboration versus moving hardware. Several advantages of softphones for businesses increases decreased costs for hardware and maybe licensing fees, easier contact, importation, and seamless integration with localized features. Remember, a soft phone is a piece of software that has the capabilities of business phone, but the freedom to make calls from any device, no matter where you are on the globe. So with the pandemic really causing havoc with people being out of the office working from home, needing to still be able to conduct business and make phone calls, the soft phone really allowed employers to set up offsite workers with a phone, not requiring a big investment in, let's say, IP phones being sent to all their remote people, or even connecting a physical landline connection, or improving the internet connection at their homes. And so not only does it save them money, it also maintains professionalism while displaying your company's main phone number, and in turn protects the employee's personal phone number and information. And after, all calls will really look to the caller as if they're being answered in an office. So it really creates that professionalism and that impact you're looking for when making outbound calls. So I'm going to review some of the top benefits of using soft phones. We already talked about huge cost savings. Although we're seeing that 99% of our customers are still investing in physical IP desk phones with complementary soft phones for their users. For a company, let's say, that might have remote people only set up with soft phones, there is a major advantage of the cost savings there, cutting the cost of hardware and having to ship hardware to these remote people all over the globe. Besides, a soft phone simply requires a license, which is usually very economical. And soft phones are powered with VoIP technology that utilizes the internet connection to make your calls affordably, even for international calls. So, in a nutshell, soft phones overall bear little to no overhead costs, with the exception of your licensing and hopefully being used on your in-place high speed. We actually shared a blog written by yours truly on how easy it is to set up a perfect mobile workforce with the single investment of a versatile soft phone that can work on any device, anytime, everywhere. So definitely check that out. Gone are the days of having to buy personnel, laptops, mobile phones, headsets, desk phones. Most remote people don't have the space nor the desire to gain all this new hardware. Definitely check this blog out, as it's really helpful for useful tips to set up your mobile workforce. So some more benefits I'd like to go over with you. Of course, your desk usually carries your PC and the hard phone with the wires everywhere. Such chaos. A soft phone is a great solution that eradicates all this clutter, especially in a small workspace. As hard phones are installed and configured using some dedicated network lines, a soft phone doesn't require any physical telephone lines or specific wiring. Most of the soft phone applications are downloaded directly from the service provider's website or from the source relevant to the selected hardware platform, let's say the mobile app or the desktop app. And cell phones can often be customized to integrate perhaps with third-party CRMs or other applications. Some cell phones have inbuilt features or the ability for customization to connect with CRMs like, let's say, Salesforce or Zoho and other third-party applications. So it helps you and your team work more collaboratively, since it unifies the entire infrastructure of your company. And because the soft phone is operating on your private network connection, so it's encrypted and it's secure. So no public network is there that may evolve any threat to your network infrastructure. It's your network, and you can easily transfer the information without any peril to data breaching, whether it's your calling, your video conferencing, your screen sharing, or chat. They will all be secure. So voice and video calls are the most common way these days to communicate with your colleagues or customers or partners. Text messaging or chat is something that most of our customers prefer for short conversations or notifications. Some soft phones have inbuilt features of chat that is a great way to reach your prospects and customers. Definitely look for this in a soft phone solution. It will encourage customer interaction. Chat has become really the new frontier to win in terms of marketing, sales, and engagement and support. And this will increase your customer engagement, since the soft phone has chat, voice, and video functionality within it if you select a soft phone application that has all those features. So let's talk cost savings. I often get asked this: what is the difference in costs if you go all hardware or all software? So, for example, all IP desk phones, maybe, or all soft phones. But again, we are seeing that 99% of customers still go with a hybrid combination approach of IP desk phones with soft phones for when their people are working remotely. So option one here, you have, let's say, 50 employees, 50 desk phones. Option two, you have the same 50 employees and only 25 have physical desk phones and 25 are remote. using soft phones. This is a hybrid combination approach I just mentioned. And option 3, you have the same 50 employees and all 50 are working remotely out of the office or maybe on the go, and they're all set up using soft phones. So for the company in option 1, they would need to make that capital purchase of the 50 IP desk phones. Just for example's sake, let's say a commercial grade physical IP desk phone ranges around $200 US MSRP each. So let's say that capital investment would be about $10,000 in upfront hardware costs. And of course, you're going to incur the expense for shipping or installation, setup and provisioning, training, maintenance. You might want to invest in extended warranty on those phones, and you might need licensing for those phones, or you might need to drop additional lines. So something to take into consideration for option 1. Option 2, the company would spend, again, the same approximate $200 each on 25 physical IP desk phones. So you're looking at $5,000. And then for the remote users, 25 soft phones. I'll use our Clearly Anywhere Softphone pricing for this example. It's $19.99 US MSRP per user per year. So that would be $499.75. So approximately $5,500 would be your investment compared to the $10,000 if you rolled out all IP desk phones for everyone. And then option 3, the company would spend the same $19.99 per user per year for a soft phone with Clearly Anywhere. So that cost for all 50 people would be $999.50. I just rounded up to $1,000. And the employees can work anywhere. So that is, yes, an annual recurring cost. However, there was no 10K in outlay of capital for hardware. Your users will need headsets, but these days, most employees have their own headsets to use with their devices, to use with their cell phones, computers, or tablets. So more and more, it's bring your own device for staff in terms of their headsets. So that'll give you a good example of the 3 options. Again, I do want to mention that customers and businesses really are reluctant to let go of IP desk phones still. We are still finding that most prefer to invest in an IP desk phone and set up their people with a soft phone so that they have the flexibility of both options. I know for me, I have my CIP 270 executive set on my desk that I like to use when I'm in the office, but then I use my Clearly Anywhere when I'm working from home or traveling. Okay, let's talk about the soft phone from Clearly IP a little bit more, Clearly Anywhere, just to give you an example of the features that come included with our solution. And this will give you some other ideas around criteria when you're looking for a soft phone. So most soft phones offer similar functions and efforts to demonstrate. We will be using our Clearly Anywhere in our live demo today. Soft phones really are the simplest and most accessible communication software that can take your communication to the next level. However, they're not all the same in terms of features, and you also want to check on platform compatibility. So as an example, our Clearly Anywhere will work with Microsoft Windows, Android, iOS, and Mac OS. So you definitely want to check that to make sure that your soft phone application will meet all your personnel's needs and hardware needs. Setting up a soft phone could not be easier, truly. Sending employees maybe a link to a small download for their computers or a QR code or an app for other electronics means less confusion. Once installed, simply logging into the soft phone is done with existing login credentials, just like sitting at the desk. So your personnel would need to know their extension and their passwords, and they'd be able to get up and running. In the case of our Clearly Anywhere soft phone, we actually allow users to install and use our soft phone on as many devices as they need. So this is really, really important. Other carriers and competitors may restrict the number of devices that can run an instance of the software. This is an important question to ask when you're looking for a soft phone provider. Can you install a single license on unlimited devices, or do you need a license for every device? A simple example is that if you're a company with 50 employees, and you're paying for 25 of those 50 to have, let's say, our Clearly IP, Clearly Anywhere soft phone application, those 25 employees need to be able to install their soft phone on as many devices as they want. So if your employee, let's say, has 2 laptops, a desktop computer, a tablet, a cell phone, they only need a single license for Clearly Anywhere, and they can install it on all of those devices, rather than having to buy a license for every single device for each personnel. That can really add up. As we mentioned, inbound calls ring on your desktop, your tablet, or cell phone, just like they would at your desk phone. And instead of picking up a handset, you simply click the green button to receive a call and the red button to end the call. Very similar to lifting your handset on and off the receiver. To make a call, you simply input the number into the virtual keypad and then press the green call button to connect. Another great feature of our softphone is SMS and MMS support right from the softphone. This allows you to send and receive a quick message if you notice a coworker is on the phone currently. And I do want to mention that our Clearly Anywhere is optimized for free PBX, works with our ClearlyIP platforms as well as many other IP-based platforms. So another important consideration. Another one thing I want to mention is there's nothing more irritating than having to pick up your smartphone to look up a contact when you're making a call from your business desktop phone or softphone application. Many people, myself among them, I keep all my contacts, both business and personal, organized in my iPhone, more than I do in my business phone system directory, which really doesn't make any sense as I'm just making my life more difficult. Everyone wants or should have a library of his or her contacts across all devices. Our engineering team actually created a free PBX version which supports this feature for Clearly Anywhere mobile and desktop, including importable contacts. So that's a great feature for any of our free PBX administrators or users with us today. So while a physical or programmable button for the parking function is not always offered in softphone applications, it's another really important consideration. Does the softphone application support call parking? Our Clearly Anywhere does. We support showing a park button while on an active call, and adding a park button to our Clearly Anywhere desktop and Clearly Anywhere softphones really make it easier for you to conduct business regardless of where you need to be. So by default, our park button is actually not enabled, so you'll need to enable the park button and set which parking lot of calls will be parked to. And of course, administrators can choose this option at a group or user level in user management for park button enhancement. I want to mention that as well. Very important consideration to ask your soft phone application provider, is call parking a feature that is provided? Okay, that is the end of my presentation. I'd like to say hello to Tony and welcome him and invite him to show you guys a live demo. Hi, Tony. How are you?
Okay, I'm good, Bree.
Hi.
I am here.
Welcome.
Okay, we're going to do a quick demo of Clearly Anywhere with a free PX-based system. This happens to be just a generic ClearlyIP branded one, and just kind of walk through what it looks like and how to configure it. It's pretty simple. So we have a module in free PBX called Clearly Anywhere, and this module basically provides the features and functionalities for the mobile softphone and desktop softphone to be able to connect and get its provisioning data. So when you license Clearly Anywhere from us, one of the things you do at setup is you tell us what is the domain, normally it's a domain name, not an IP, on how our licensing system reaches in and how phones reach in to get their provisioning data. So in this scenario, we're going to HTTP and then this internal IP address on port 2267. Of course, normally this would be HTTPS, and you'd have a domain name here. And this is just used for its initial configuration so that when you go to log into the device, it knows how to reach into the PBX and get its provisioning data. So we can see here at a glance, I'm licensed for 10 users. I'm using 6 of them so far, so there's 4 users left. We can see the service is up and running. It's been up for 32 minutes. And I can see what users on the PBX I've granted permissions to use Clearly Anywhere. So from here, there's a bunch of settings related to Clearly Anywhere, and those are made up in 2 areas. Under the settings here is things like what port we're using to let the phones log in and get their provisioning data. Do I use HTTP or HTTPS? And if you're doing HTTPS, what certificate you want to use for security. And then how does it reach the PBX to register for the SIP side of things? So that would be the IP or domain name. And then, for example, this is the email that goes out that you can have it send to new users. When you opt a user into Clearly Anywhere, they'll get this email address that they can use to log in and connect their Clearly Anywhere app. And you can change this email address to be whatever you want. Under status, I think it is. Yeah, so if you want to send people that email setup instruction, you can pick which users, and you can hit email setup, and it will email that user that setup instruction. So then we get into what features an individual user has. That is hooked into the user management system, for example, in a free PBX-based system. And you would manage either group level permissions or individual user permissions. So I'm using user 1001 here, so we'll look at user 1001. And we'll see under Clearly Anywhere, enable the softphone. So the default permission is an inherit from the group. So I've got it set to inherit from the group I belong to. Same with messaging, inherit. What is my main SMS number? So when I go to send an outbound SMS from my mobile app, what DID is it going to send out as? Do I want to allow the user to record calls on the mobile app? Yes, no, or inherit. Do I want to push the server contacts from the PBX into the contacts on the mobile app? Again, enable, disable, or inherit from the group. These server contacts are whatever you have set up in the PBX under server contacts, which are under applications and contacts. Where's it over here? There it is, contact manager. So by default in free PBX, it would only share all the other users on the system's contacts, but you can create custom contact groups for users, and you can control what users see for contact groups. So basically anything this user has access to inside of the free PBX contact manager will be pushed as contacts into Clearly Anywhere. When they're on an active call, do you want to give them a park button so they can park calls? Do you want to enable group level quick dials? So quick dials are BLFs. So you can sit at a group level and pick and say, okay, all the users of this group are going to see these BLF buttons on their soft phone. Do you want the soft phone to support auto answering if it gets a page call? So if you set this to enable and it gets an intercom or page call, the mobile phone will auto answer. For operating systems that support it. So for example, iOS won't do it when the phone's idle. It doesn't allow us to. It will do it when the app is open, but if it's idle, it's just going to ring. They refuse to let us auto answer. Where Android, we can auto answer. And if you turn off auto answer, then the phone's just going to ring when they answer it. They'll be connected to the page or the intercom. And then you get some, we'll go look at a group level, what I did here. So if we go look at the group I belong to, which is this all users group, we'll see the same things, enable soft phone. So remember we said inherit from the group, so it's inheriting all these permissions from the group. It's inheriting these quick dials. Auto answer is disabled. And then this emergency call routing, what this says is if someone dials 911 or they dial 999, I just happen to use 999. It should actually be 933 is the test number for calling 911. What we're saying is from the soft phone, if they dial 911 or 933, don't use the app to send the call out. Redirect the call to the local cell network because the PBX isn't aware of the location of that user when they're out and about. So by telling the 911 call to be redirected into the native dialer of the phone, it's going to send the call out the cell phone, the normal cell network, which does have location information for 911. So you can go ahead and make any of those changes you want. And then we simply, I've got a emulator here for Android. So then we simply log in. So there's really three different ways to log into Clearly Anywhere. One is with your username and password. This is the user's username and password that they have set up in their PBX for logging in things like the user control panel. So it's called the user account. So it's not the SIP username and password. We don't want to share that. That would be insecure. It's in FreePX, they call it the user account. So the user itself can log in with their username and password and domain or IP address of the PBX. 63.59. If I wasn't using an emulator here, I would scan the QR code. So when you get that email, when you tell it to send that email, it sends a QR code in the email, and you can scan the QR code. Or if you open the email in your mobile app, you can actually click on the QR code. It will emulate scanning it, and it will auto fill all this in for you and log you in. So we're going to do it the manual way and hit sign in. And then it's going to ask a whole bunch of... Cannot start provisioning or something. It's like I'm having a network problem here. This might be because I changed networks to get my screen share to work here. I jumped on a different network and I had this open already, I bet. So, let's see here. Sorry about that. So anyways, it should just open up. Normally it would, but I'm pretty sure it's related to my network change I made to get the screen sharing to work. I'm on Android. I don't have the app installed now. Sorry about that. This is going to take a second.
Sometimes it's good to see what can go wrong.
Well, we're using an Android emulator on a Mac, so yeah.
Right, right.
Oh, so it is installed. Just wasn't shown on the desk screen, the home screen. So let's hope this works. Otherwise, I got major network problems. There we go. That's what I thought it was going to be. Okay, so once you've logged in, this is the mobile soft phone. We talked about, for example, BLFs. So there we go. If we click on the favorites here, or our buddies, we'll see the BLFs that are loaded. And remember, what BLFs you see can be controlled at a global level, meaning the group level, and can be overrun at a user level. And then end users can also add their own custom buttons just by clicking the plus here, typing in Bob and Bob's extension number 1. And do you want it to be a BLF or not? And now you've added that. So I didn't do that one as a BLF, but you can do it as a BLF. If we go to contacts, the first thing you'll notice is it will first show the address book from your mobile phone. So all the contacts in your mobile phone are showed here. They're not stored here, they're just pulled from the phone. It's one of the permissions you have to grant. And if you click on address book, you can then also look at server contacts, which are all your contacts from the PBX that are synced with you. And you can even refresh that list from the PBX anytime. It does refresh every hour or two. It does a download, but you can manually force it to refresh to see if there's any new contacts. This would be our call history, our dial pad. So if we want to make an outbound call, we just put in our phone number. Whoa. And we can make a call. And while we're on active call, we'll get things like that park button because we told it to, transfer, add another caller, record this call because I've been given permissions, put it on hold, all the different things that you can do here. Mute it. It does support video calling, so if the person you're calling is also support video, you can toggle the video on and it will negotiate a video stream with the other side as long as their end phone supports video. And then you can see some information about this active caller by clicking on the little eye here. It'll show you what network you're on, what codec you're using, the jitter, any packet loss, the round trip time the audio is taking. So you can see a lot of good information of what's going on the call. And then the last piece would be messaging. So SMS over here, we can start an SMS. So let's do this. Actually, I'll send an inbound. It'll be easier from here. So if I'm on a different screen, doesn't matter. We'll go send an inbound message. I'm going to send this from another phone. And you'll get a pop-up notification using the normal push service from Android and iOS. And there you go. We got a pop-up notification. So it's inbound test. You can mark it as read, reply to it, or click on it. It would take you right to the message. I waited too long, of course, because that pop-up only stays for a little bit. But if we come over here, we can see that message. And then we could reply back. And go ahead and do all of our SMS from here. So the SMS interface is within the free PBX SMS system. So as long as you've got SMS enabled in that system with a supported carrier like ClearlyIP, it will fully support SMS into your free PBX SMS subsystem. That is it, Bree.
Fantastic. Thank you. I always learn so much.
No problem.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. That concludes our webinar presentation for today. I hope you learned lots of new stuff and all the features and functionality you should be looking for in a softphone solution. If you're interested in learning more information about our Clearly Anywhere softphone, we would love to hear from you. Feel free to reach out to sales and they can give you any information you're looking for. This webinar will be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel and on our events page on our website, most likely by Monday or Tuesday if you want to go back and take a look at it again. Well, thank you again. Thank you, Tony, and wishing everybody a fantastic week. Bye-bye.